know the why human trafficking work is needed, to fight for the freedom of modern-day slaves. But love, passion, commitment isn't all you need to be an effective and successful anti-trafficking advocate. Learn the how. I'm Dr. Celia Williamson, Director of the Human Trafficking and Social Justice Institute at the University of Toledo. Welcome to the Emancipation Nation podcast, where I'll provide you with the latest and best methods, policy, and practice discussed by experienced experts in the field so that you can cut through the noise, save time, and be about the work of saving lives. Welcome to the Emancipation Nation podcast, episode 117. And I'm getting back to the discussion I had that I started in episode 114 about the TNT program that I'm developing. And it's evolving as, we speak. So the TNT 12 steps is now the TNT 12 journeys, because steps just didn't feel appropriate, didn't feel authentic. So we're changing it to journeys. So there are 12 journeys. And I talked about the first journey in episode 114, that the victim comes to believe that they're not living a life of choice and freedom, but a life of internal traps and external trappings, and this can change. So if you haven't heard that, you can go back to 114 and listen to it. But basically, the TNT Survivor Healing Journey groups are groups where survivors get together and they are guided by somebody who's trained in trauma-informed care and some trauma healing techniques, and they facilitate the group. I'm pretty excited about it because I know that we are doing a lot of policy work and we're passing laws and we're doing a lot of prevention and we're building coalitions and collaborations and just passing laws and changing the way we work in terms of trauma-informed care, the way we work with survivors, and we're linking them to a lot of services, legal services and social services and housing and food, clothing, and, healthcare and all the things, but we're not really diving deep into their internal healing. That's the part that I think we're missing. And if we're enlightened enough, we'll get them to a trauma treatment counselor who can use a specific trauma treatment modality to help them recover from trauma. But that's once a week. And, trauma takes over your entire life. It can shift your mood. It can negatively affect your ability to have a good, healthy relationship, to have solid friends, to have good, intimate partnerships, to work a long-term job, to have life satisfaction, to be happy, to experience joy. So having a trauma treatment session once a week is an excellent idea. And some people are enlightened enough to know that trauma is the core issue that they suffer from, and they get in front of people who are trained and certified trauma treatment therapists, but they need so much more. And if they had a group that focused on healing their trauma, if they had a facilitator that was trained to guide them through this process, through these journeys, is what I like to think of them as, to go through learning about boundaries, healthy boundaries, and learning about trauma and triggers, and learning about having an open and honest self-examination, and learning how to trust again, and those who are trustworthy, and learning to be trustworthy, and learning to have healthy and supportive friendships and relationships, and learning how to practice self-forgiveness, and learning how to release that energy, those burdens from the people who violated you, and just learning to walk through life with joy. And, joy is something that's internal to you. Happiness is fleeting. but joy is something you choose because you're able to choose it. So having a group where you can regain your own power, voice, and choice, that's the dream. And I interviewed a lot of survivors and to put this together, and some direct service professionals that work with survivors. And I dug through old interviews and analyzed those through this lens and just used my almost 30 years of experience just to put this together in a way that would bring that healing. And I'm hoping and praying that every city that has a coalition will be able to say, we have a survivor's journey group, and to have it consistently, the same time every week, the same place, so that anybody on your coalition can say, I don't know what's happening here, there, and everywhere, but I know we have a weekly group that helps survivors heal. So that's the dream. It's TNT, Survivor's Journey. And TNT means truths and transformations, because you have to understand your truth and you have to stand in it and you have to walk in it. And once you understand your truth, then you can work on your transformation. And once you transform, it's hard to go back. You want more of it. You want to grow more, and you want to be happy, and you want to grow into your joy, and you want to grow into your recovery, and you want to reclaim your voice and your choice and your power and your control over your own life. So, for instance, in Journey 1 that I talked about, the truth, you remember the victim comes to believe that they're not living a life of choice and freedom, but a life of internal traps and external trappings, and this can change. Well, the truth is, I know my internal traps and external trappings prevent me from living the life I want to live. So when you come to realize that truth, then you're ready to experience the transformation, which is, I have hope and belief that my life can change. That's Journey 1. So I have a whole chapter. I wrote a book on this, and I'm almost done with the book. So I'm revealing this as I'm working on it, sharing it with you as I'm developing it. But the first journey is really about hope and belief. And then the second journey, the victim answers the call and begins the path to recovery. The truth there that you need to understand is, I can't create change, the change that I want, by myself. And so the transformation is, I work with others to regain my power, choice, and voice. And so in the second journey, we ask that you develop a bomb squad, your bomb squad. That's what we call it. TNT, we're playing on the bomb thing, but you develop your bomb squad. And who's your bomb squad? Your bomb squad is your trauma treatment therapist, somebody who's certified to work with you on trauma treatment. Another member might be your case manager that helps link you with all the services that you need, your housing, your legal services, your substance abuse services. And then if there is a substance abuse problem, then another member of your bomb squad is your NA or your AA sponsor. Another one might be a trauma-sensitive yoga instructor, because there's been a lot of work on body work and trauma. And so that's your bomb squad. Your bomb squad is there to help you and support you. And so when we talk about this TNT Survivor's Journey, we want our members to choose who's going to be on their bomb squad. So this isn't like, here's my case manager because this person was just given to me. No, interview your case manager, choose your case manager. Whether you have money or you're broke, you still have choice. And once you reclaim your choice and power, then you can choose a case manager who's a good fit for you. Choose your trauma treatment counselor, interview them. And we have ways in our survivor journey groups that you can interview your potential trauma treatment therapist so that you can ask questions about, hey, what model do you use? Can you explain it to me? How many people like me have you seen, have you had as a client? Are you culturally aware about where I come from and what I believe in and the history of my people? Can you connect with me? Those types of things so that you'll have the best experience so that you will be able to begin to recover from your trauma and have coping skills so that you can live a life of joy. And so, journey 2 is really about gathering your bomb squad so that they can support you. I would love if I had 3 or 4 people whose job it was to help me feel better about myself, to help me become more empowered, to help me stand in my own truth and recover successfully. I would be excited. But what we've done essentially is we turn this social services around so that you just think that you have to take anybody who's willing to help you. And the person willing to help you may have a poor attitude or maybe burnt out. And you think that you have to accept this level of service. You don't, because reclaiming your power, choice, and voice is all about empowering yourself to gather the correct bomb squad, the people that are going to help you work on your recovery and help you live the life that you truly want to live. It's been argued that there are really only 2 emotions, love and fear. Every other emotion falls under those 2 emotions. Behind anger, for instance, is always fear. Someone who acts out in anger is often afraid of losing something that they don't want to lose or gaining something that they don't want to manage. They may be in fear of losing something tangible like a job, a relationship, a house, a car. They may be in fear of losing something they can't see, like their credibility, self-respect, or love of somebody else. Many people function out of a fear-based mentality. They're afraid of losing or feeling pain as a result. They may drastically attempt to control something or control somebody else out of fear. Looking at all the emotions that are fear-based, like anger, anxiety, guilt, shame, sadness, frustration, uneasiness, loneliness, worry, jealousy, emptiness, cautiousness, shyness, embarrassment, panic, just to name a few. Now look at some of the emotions that are under the love-based category, like love and like and happiness, hopefulness, confidence, pride, optimism, amazement, joy, desire, passion, courage, triumph, pleasure, thrill. Some people can live their entire lives rooted in fear. People leading a fear-based life often do so because they've been abused, neglected, assaulted, exploited. Some have been rejected, beaten down, and treated so horribly by others or themselves that they're afraid to try to obtain the life, the career, the lifestyle that they really desire and deserve. What they don't understand is that when they settle out of fear, the cost to them is enormous because they've given up their true hopes, wishes, and dreams, and they pretend that they're happy with what life has handed them or what they have orchestrated or manipulated or managed to get. Being satisfied with life's scraps is not the way to live in joy. So the second journey is all about deciding whether you want to live a fear-based life or a love-based life. And then if you want to live a love-based life, gathering the people that can help you do that. When you live a fear-based life, you make a deal with the devil to decide your life is not worth it. If you believe the devil wears a red suit and has a fiery tail, you've missed the massively important message of religion. Whenever you believe and treat yourself like you're worthless, or valueless, you have given yourself over to the dark side and away from the divine light. The fear you live in helps you create a life of denial, pretending that nothing's wrong or that the parts of your life that aren't healthy and that aren't satisfactory to you are okay. In reality, you may not have the love you want and deserve. You may not have the peace you deserve. You've been willing to give those essential fruits of life up because you live in fear. Love and peace are essential items for living. Without them, you're surviving at best. Living in fear is crippling to the soul and the spirit because it serves to bury the truth deep inside you. And the truth is that you're yearning to be free and not be controlled by anyone or anything, including fear. That's what the second journey is all about. So I hope you'll hang with me as I unfold these 12 journeys. And I'll be talking to you about how to become a facilitator of the TNT survivors journey groups. And I'm excited, and I hope they start cropping up all over the place, because I think if we can set people on their path to lowering their trauma, but also increasing their joy and the value that they have in themselves, and put them on a path to live the life they truly want, we will have indeed created the freedom that we're all passionate about, that we have and we want others to have. So until next time, the fight continues.
Let's not just do something, let's do the best thing. If you like this episode of Emancipation Nation, please subscribe and I'll send you the weekly podcast. Until then, the fight continues.